I'm Jason Wilson with American Riviera Bank, and you're listening to the Regional Pulse. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Sam Walters from Zodo's Bowling and Beyond. Zodo's is located in Goleta, right here on the Central Coast, and is a fun-filled entertainment center open 24 hours, a full-service restaurant and a sports bar, arcade, and virtual reality studio and events room. It's a full-service operation, and pleasure to have you with us, Sam.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
So, leading into COVID, the bowling industry was in process of kind of a massive shift from the olden days, from the 70s, 80s, 90s, to where league bowling kind of dominated the revenue stream. And can you talk to us about what you've already done before COVID even came into play and how you've adjusted to the market and the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're absolutely right. I mean, bowling had its peak in the 60s, 70s, and then we've seen a slow decline over the last, 40, 50 years until about, 5 to 10 years ago, we saw a shift where the focus was less on league bowling, less on the competition and the sport. The focus now is more on creating a space where people can come together, eat, drink, play games, have fun, build a little bit of a sense of community and togetherness. And so we're trying to lean into that trend that we've seen in the industry where we want to modernize, we want to focus on customer experience, not just on the sport itself. And so that involves redoing our food programs, so making sure our food is great and our drinks are fantastic and craft cocktails, but also making sure the arcade is state-of-the-art and the systems there work well. And then we can get into this later, but we just opened last week our virtual reality studio, which
awesome.
I think is the future of entertainment. So the focus has definitely shifted, and I think bowling centers that don't embrace the new change and new technology and try to innovate are going to get left behind, and we're seeing that already.
Got it. What did a typical work day and work week look like for you prior to the pandemic?
So we thought it was difficult before, and it turns out that was the easy stuff. That was looking at when we first got here, which was only 11 months ago. So we're coming up just on a year of the new ownership. And before the pandemic, we had an amazingly established brand, a really good, solid customer base. And so it was about managing operations. It was about finding new technologies that worked best and about changing our POS systems and reimagining the customer experience, finding ways to become more efficient to improve the customer experience, decrease waiting times, increase customer satisfaction. And so those were really fun projects. And so back in 2001, when they did the center, it was state-of-the-art. Mm-hmm. When they redid the full remodel. And they had projectors and glow lights and a great restaurant and 60 taps, and that was all really new at the time. But in the last 20 years or so, everyone else has kind of caught up, and we saw an opportunity to come in and redo it again.
Take it to the next level.
And get ahead of the curve once again, And so that's what we did. And that involved changing the technology a lot, changing our website and our online presence, our marketing, and then adding these attractions like a new arcade and the virtual reality. And so that was the focus when we first got here. And grooming the people too, and making sure that the people who work here are happy, because it's not us that make this go around and make the customer experience great. It's everyone on the floor who's working hard. I think reconnecting with them, getting their ideas, what they thought needed to change, and that's where a lot of the work was inspired.
Well, speaking as a league bowler myself in this community and at this center, I got to tell you, just over the year I've got to know you guys as a customer. I can see the efficiencies and even as you diversify, to capture, the recreational market and the league bowler. I feel as a league bowler, you still honored us and kept us, happy. And you can see just the awesome things that you guys are bringing to play to capture pretty much everyone and make it a family destination type of place. So thank you.
Yeah, well, no, thank you for saying that. And I think it's really important to acknowledge, too, it's not a zero-sum game when it comes to recreational bowling and league bowling. I think if you make one better, it improves the other. If you get recreational bowlers into the sport and enjoying it, and you give them a custom bowling ball, and they're going to want to join a league, and they're going to want to make the level of play better, and that makes the leagues better, and everyone has a better time.
Sure.
And the more resources we have, the more we can share with our league bowlers, who really are still, to this day, the kind of the backbone of our bowling business in the sport. So,
very nice, very nice. So what changes have you had to make to your business model with the COVID crisis and pandemic going on?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. Initially, we had to close down completely, like everyone else, and we immediately pivoted to takeout and delivery food, which was an incredibly interesting experience. We operate a 30,000 square foot entertainment center, and all of a sudden we're a ghost kitchen essentially. And so, but at the same time, we learned a lot during that period. We learned a lot about our restaurant procedures. We learned a lot about the new point of sale system and the technology and the delivery apps that we have at our disposal. And those are things that we'll carry forward indefinitely. And that's a new revenue stream we never thought we were going to have.
Oh, very nice.
So
your menu's epic. I think it's some of the best pizza in town. You pretty much can get anything. So
yeah, Zodo's it's always prided itself on shirking the reputation of bowling alley food, which is you think of an old mom and pop center,
like VIP style food.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to go with
it's not all coming out of the fryer. It's fresh. It's good. It's good food that you can enjoy and that you want it. It's the old model is people come for the bowling, and then they come for the bowling and they end up eating and drinking just because they're here. But I don't think that has to be the way it is, and it hasn't been the way it is in our experience so far. Is people will come if you give them a great experience in the bar and good food and a great experience in the restaurant. They'll come for that.
Nice.
And so it's really important to make sure we're honed in there.
So during this time, has there been any surprises that you've had to adjust from?
Yeah, lots of surprises. It's been the most interesting marketing experimentation time for us, because we're trying to figure out how to make people comfortable and how to make sure our staff is comfortable and safe. And so it's trying different things and trying to communicate our message properly.
So I see a little outdoor action going on here on the patio. Was that a result of the COVID concessions, so to speak, from the city to allow businesses, which are limited by occupancy, I would imagine?
Yeah.
And how's that been going out there?
That's been great. It's been a project.
Okay.
Which has been really, really interesting, and I hope it's something we can keep for a long time, because it adds a great element. I mean, we're in Santa Barbara,
right?
And it's hard to go somewhere and find better weather and a better place to sit outside and eat and drink. And so,
until they invent retractable roofs in bowling alleys, it's a great option to have.
It's a fantastic option to have. So that's been fantastic, and it's been really well received by our customers. And so, as soon as we got word from the city that centers like us could take part of their parking lots and turn them into outdoor seating, we jumped on it immediately, and it's worked out great, and it's been utilized, and we're just really happy to see people outside enjoying themselves. And
now, you recently were able to open.
We were, so it's 2 weeks ago today.
2 weeks ago today.
2 weeks ago today, and we've opened, and it's a completely different operation.
Can you tell us some of the things you're doing safety-wise to ensure the customer experience is excellent and safe?
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing operationally for us is space. We need to make sure everyone has the proper social distancing, and so We took I'd say more than half the seating out of our restaurant,
Okay.
to ensure there's plenty of space in between tables. The arcade's got a strict limit on people that can be in there.
Okay.
The lanes, we're only using every other lane,
Okay.
so that puts about 11 feet in between each group.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, they have plenty of lanes. I mean, 20, even though there's 24 lanes and only 12 possible at one time, that's plenty, and you should get out here.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, definitely, with plenty of space still. We're fortunate we're a big center in general, and we've got a lot of space for people to spread out and be safe. But then it's after spacing, you're talking about cleaning procedures.
Okay.
We're cleaning every bowling ball every time it's touched, and every game in the arcade every time it's touched, every headset.
Wait, does that mean I can leave my bowling ball on the rack and I don't need to take it back to the rack?
That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Right on. Wow.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got someone full time down on the lanes now whose their only job is to make sure when people leave their lane that those bowling balls get cleaned properly. We have special sanitizing spray that doesn't harm the oil patterns, which never knew that existed, but
right on.
Here we are, and to clean those surfaces down at the lanes and the screens, and anything that's touched really is getting cleaned between every party. So operationally, that was a lot of planning, a lot of whiteboard drawing went into figuring out how that was going to work, and the same thing in the restaurant. And any restaurant in town can tell you about this, but you've got so many things you never think of that are high touch. Condiments on a table, those got to go. Little table flaps with menus and dining options and advertising and stuff, those have to go. And menus have to be disposable now. Every time they're used, they get thrown out. And so there's so many things that have changed. But I think it's made us better as a team. Our problem solving has amazed me. I think people now are far more comfortable voicing their opinions and coming up with ideas because it's necessary. And we need the combined brain power of everyone here to get through this and figure it out. And so I think that was unexpected. You think when times get crazy like this and decisions have to be made, people might take a step back and wait to be told what to do and just hope it gets sorted out. But that hasn't been the case at all. We've seen so many great suggestions from customers and coworkers, and it's been really great to see, and it makes me really hopeful for the future.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I mean, I love it how you have looked and taken the opportunity to make a positive out of a negative, and you've used the time clean. I've never seen this bowling alley cleaner, and to make some neat changes to the inside, and to offer virtual reality in that. So, talk to me about how you use that time to create almost a new revenue stream or a new event that would ultimately bring families to your place.
Yeah, so we had a little more of a long-term plan. We knew we needed to add another attraction, and we needed to utilize the newest tech and the newest attractions, and so virtual reality was the obvious answer. And it's an incredible experience. Most people, until you try it, it's really hard to describe what it is.
Okay.
You're completely immersed in a different place and time and world, and you're in an empty room and you completely forget. And it's quite an amazing experience, almost addicting. So we had this long-term plan, this 1 or 2 year plan, where we said, well, we'll slowly get some of this stuff out of the way that's not as useful, and we'll move a couple walls that we need to create this extra space, and we'll do it slowly because we don't want to impact the customer experience. It's over by the bathrooms and there's a hallway. But then we shut down and we thought, well, we've got 6 weeks minimum. That was our guess. Before anybody's going to be allowed to come back in here, before we feel comfortable letting anybody back in. And so it just made sense to accelerate. And it was scary because here we are, our revenue's gone to essentially zero. We still have all the financial obligations we had before. But we were so confident that it would pay off. We doubled down and we said, let's reinvest and and build out this studio. And we were really lucky that we found a partner in Surreal Virtual Reality Studios, who they had opened a location downtown last year, and they're great operators and the latest tech and the latest games and greatest stuff. And so they agreed to partner with us and come in here, and we provided them the space and the resources, and they had built out the studio. And so we got it done about a week before we got the green light to open 2 weeks ago. And so it really worked out well. We feel really fortunate. It's an amazing addition to the studio, and I'm just really excited for people to try it.
Wonderful. I think it's amazing, and it's the first of its kind, and it's innovative, and that's awesome. And and you didn't sacrifice anything else. I mean, the pro shop is now actually on display, in a better place where recreational bowlers and league bowlers can ultimately, well, first off, know that there's an option to purchase bowling balls of any kind or type, and accessories and bowling shoes and anything you need to bowl. You guys have.
Yeah, so that was another piece of the renovations. We said, and it's cool. Bowling balls are cool.
Yeah,
they're pretty and they're fun.
Yeah,
and so it made a lot of sense to put that stuff on display. And
are you doing anything now to promote the bowling alley or the pro shop and actual?
Yeah, so believe it or not, we've been giving away custom fitted bowling balls.
Nice.
We've been doing that for about a week and a half now.
Okay.
And the customer response has been fantastic. I mean, a lot of recreational bowlers don't know that the balls exist outside of the plastic house balls that are down there on the lanes. Sure. And getting a custom bowling ball that's made of different materials and has the right core, and it changes the sport completely. And so we're just so excited to be able to give those balls away and get people a little more excited about the sport. And it's not, I mean, it feels great to give them away, and people love getting something of value without having to pay for it. But it's not entirely altruistic, because
I tell you, Sam, I was here Monday, and we brought in our team getting ready to start up the fall league season, which I think is starting a little bit after July 4th holiday.
July 6th. July 6th.
We're starting
here for that.
Right on. And we brought a friend of ours who doesn't bowl, but they noticed the rack of bowling balls, and they're like, "What's going on up there?" And sure enough, by the end of the night, he had purchased his bowling ball and set up an appointment to come in and drill, and he was so excited, so excited to learn a little more, about the sport and what it entails, and really, how to make yourself better, and the fun and camaraderie and togetherness that this industry truly has. I mean, it's a great chance to get together, to spend time with your friends, to in all aspects, whether or not you're bowling or eating or watching the game.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Awesome. Right on.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's especially interesting, the world we're living in now for brick and mortar places. I think we're in the middle, or at the very, very beginning of a massive shift in consumer behavior. And it's hard right now to be a retailer. It's hard to, I think, sell clothes or sell home goods or gifts, because so much of that has moved online, and so much of that you can take care of from the home and you never have to leave. But one thing that will be very, very hard to replace, and I don't think will happen anytime soon, and this is the thing that makes us feel so confident about this industry and about what we're doing, is you need a place to spend time with people. You need a place to exercise a little bit and have fun and eat and drink. And so I think entertainment is one industry, one brick and mortar industry that's going to be okay for the long run.
Yeah, it seems like Santa Barbara is searching for things like that. I mean, they kind of say the town is, kind of misses the gap after you graduate from college, and then there's a little bit of space, and then we get into an older demographic. But but it's really wonderful that you guys have continued on when we've seen other entertainment pieces and places in town not get the traction that they needed to really maintain, and having a recreational center. I mean, I don't even know if this should be even called a bowling alley anymore.
Yeah, I think the proper term is family entertainment center.
There you go. Right on.
Bowling alley works too.
So, do you have any advice to share with other businesses who are still trying to figure out how to open during this time?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple pieces. One is, I think there might be a situation where businesses are trying to shift and they're trying to adapt, and they're thinking about it as like a short-term solution to the problem. And they're saying, what can we just do right now for the next couple months to get people back in and be safe and protect our workers, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't think that's necessarily the right approach. I think the right approach is, what can we do now that'll change the way we do business and protect our customers and protect our coworkers, but that we can keep, that's going to change our model for the long run. And so for us, delivery, for instance, delivery food and takeout food, that's something that we had to pivot to. We had no choice. But it's been great, and we've seen a lot of great success there. And so that's a new source of revenue that we'll have indefinitely, that we're really excited about.
Now, tell me about that. Can you order through delivery services, or how do I get a pizza from Zodo's delivered to my doorstep?
Yeah, so we're on all the major delivery services that operate in town, so Grubhub, DoorDash, and Uber Eats. So you can find us on those, and then you can also order on our website, which has been really kind of a cool development. And then, order on our website and come in and pick it up here. So that was, we kind of scrambled at the beginning to get that all set up. But once we had it going, it was eye-opening that this has been here for years, and we never thought of taking advantage of this. And so that was a really, really cool experience.
Sam, thank you so much for all your insight, what you're doing to ensure that we have a place that's truly meant for families and togetherness. Is there anything else you'd like to leave us with as we wrap this up? Yeah,
I mean, we just hope that we can continue to provide a place for people to come together and spend time. I think it's something it's craving right now, and to be able to provide a safe, healthy, fun place for people to come together and spend time and maybe forget about all the trouble in the world for a little while, I think is the ultimate goal. And so as long as we can continue to do that for the local community, we'll be happy.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate your time, and best of luck to you guys. Appreciate you all for listening. We look forward to more great local conversations here on the American Riviera Regional Pulse.